Right, Bronzy. How much you got in there? 10, 20 pounds. Bronzy. Hi, Roy. Have you got any cash on you? I'll pay you back, I promise.
Not today, I'm afraid, Simon. Shouldn't you be at work?
I'm on my lunch break. Hi, Bronzy.
Magnificent. I always wondered how you stand so still. Some kind of breathing technique, perhaps? Oh, forgive me. You're doing wonderfully. I notice you've not made much money today. Might I suggest a more prosperous haunt? Market Street is wonderful for tourists, and living statues go down a treat. Not to say you're not wanted around here, of course. No, quite the opposite, in fact. I am fascinated by the tableau vivant, the living picture. You know, the art form originated from an old prohibition on stage of nudity unless the performer stood still as a statue.
Is that £5 for me, or what? I'm so sorry. It's been a very long day.
No, no. I've been a distraction to you. It is I who should be apologising. I shall leave you to it. If you're in tomorrow, get yourself down to my cafe, Roy's Rolls, over on Victoria Street. Never underestimate the power of a good lunch with good company. I forgot.
Are you following me?
No. Well, only to make sure that you're okay.
I'm fine. Forgot to check it.
I've been seeing you outside the Rovers. I live on the same street, you see. It's very impressive what you do.
I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Barry Bronze.
I'm Gail.
Thanks for helping out earlier. It's nice to know I've got a guardian angel out there.
It's nothing. Stop it. Oh, you just caught my eye though, really. It's a shame you also caught the eye of that thug.
That's alright. Comes with the territory. It's not like I've even made that much anyway.
Please don't take this the wrong way, but why don't you go somewhere a bit more crowded?
Is everyone talking about me?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Do you know a Lewis Archer?
Why do you ask?
Just wondering. Heard someone mention his name.
I knew Louis Archer, yes.
And you?
He died 5 years ago. Sorry, it's just that he put my family through an awful lot. Well, that's the short of it anyway.
And what's the long of it?
You tell me your real name, and I'll tell you one day. None of this Barry Bronze nonsense.
The name's Barry Bronze, and I'm as real as they come.
Is it? That you?
You're not going to start blowing on my cheek again, are you? I know it was you that stole my money.
Is that so? Shame you can't prove it.
So Something tells me the people around here wouldn't need much persuading.
Simon, I think it's time you were home.
Oh, we just got here. You know what I mean?
And he was doing just fine until you got here.
It's okay. I'll go.
If I may. Forgive me, Barry. I couldn't help but notice you visiting Weatherfield Cemetery this morning with a wreath of flowers. I'm ashamed to say that curiosity got the better of me, thinking that you were a stranger to these parts. On closer inspection, I noticed you had laid them at the resting place of a certain Louis Archer. May I ask who he was to you?
He was my father. I never met him, but about a month ago I overheard my mum mention his name and that he was here in Weatherfield. I was hoping he would be a better parent than she is.
I'm afraid he would have been a disappointment to you.
Well, that's funny, because I was afraid I would have been a disappointment to him.
You needn't have worried. Men like your father always think they're one of a kind, but sadly they're all too easy to find. It's people like you I find far rarer. He and Gail didn't get on, to put it rather lightly. And what with you spending so much time in her company, especially in seedy places like that snooker hall, it set my alarm bells ringing.
Hang on a minute. She followed me there. I just like playing pool. Besides, she's been nothing but kind to me. I'd never do anything to upset her.
Gail's mother was nothing but kind to your father. Yet he upset her time and time again. But if you say you never knew him, I believe you. I can't promise others will do the same, however.
Hang on. I didn't even know that he died until Gail told me.
Does she know who you are?
No.
And how did your father come up in conversation?
Well, I told her that I'd overheard someone mention his name.
And had you?
Well, yeah. My mum. Like I said.
White lies are still just lies, Barry, and your father told lots of them. If it's not your intention to inflict revenge on Miss Gale, what's your next move?
Probably go home.
Well, if that were truly an option, you'd have already taken it. Winter is on its way. I cannot have you outside in the cold. There's an opening here, if you want it.
Is that so you can keep an eye on me?
Well, that too.
You don't want me working here. I'd be awful. Never had a real job in my life.
Well, everyone's got to start somewhere. I gather you've got some great customer service skills. Cash handling and patience come to mind.
What were you doing at the cemetery?
Visiting my late wife, Haley.
I'm sorry. She must have been some woman.
One of a kind.
When can I start?
to this very special episode of the Matt Crick Show entitled Beneath the Bronze. On today's show, I'm very pleased to be joined by the talented crew members that were able to help realise such a unique vision. We have our director Charlotte Ward, writer Isaac Porter, and DOP Joshua Besso. Great to have you all back on the show. It's been a while.
Great to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us back, Matt.
Yeah, it has been a while. It's episode 19, can you believe? And we're coming up to the end of series 1.
Oh my god.
Gosh.
So yeah, we're here today. I think just to discuss almost the journey of Barry Bonds. I think it's a lot of. It's been quite the journey, I think, hasn't it, with this character being with it for so long in particular. So first question is sort of how did the idea of Barry Bonds come around, essentially?
I know the exact moment, and we were in. we were in one of the cut-in suites or the finishing suites, and I think we were literally just brainstorming for each. Because we had in our head Worsley Road, Coronation Street, and the music video. And we'd come up with Worsley Road. I say we. Isaac had come up with Worsley Road, and then Josh had sort of worked on the music video idea. And then for Corrie, it was sort of like, oh, what should we do for Corrie that's not been done on Coronation Street? I'm pretty sure it was your idea, Isaac.
Well, yeah, it was. We're just trying to think of just literally everything had been done So I just made a joke about having a living statue on it, and I had in mind sort of like Hot Fuzz, but then also kind of as a joke, like a horror character.
Let's just get this clear. It started as a joke.
It was.
It really did.
And then Josh's reaction to it was like.
It wasn't even that. It was David's reaction.
Yeah,
as soon as we pitched those
spot,
ideas,
as soon as
he honed in on
Josh reacted
it,
I was like, you know what, we might as well just there was just Corrie's just been going on for so long, and there's just hardly anything that's new and felt fresh, and I only wanted to do something. I think we only wanted to do something if it was new. And then once we pitched it to David, he loved it, and
he said he'd paid to see it on Coronation Street.
That's it.
Mark his exact words.
We got it for him, man. That's the official stamp. That's it.
I
think the idea though, what I really liked about the idea is I like the absurdity of it all, but I like there's something quite glamorous about the idea of having this bronze statue. It reminds me of just the idea itself was seemed for some reason nostalgic about the idea of Barry Bonds, and just the whole slight kind of slapstick edge to it, the absurdity of it that had serious and more darker and more down to earth undertones, which I think was very clever how Isaac in his writing, and then also how Charlotte in her directing kind of brought that out. Because for me, Coronation Street was I always think about my your grandparents. It's the one show I believe that connects you through generations, and especially with me. If you live in Stockport and in Edgerley, the cobbles of, I always thought when I was a kid, the cobbles of the Coronation Street were the cobbles near Edgerley and Stockport. So I had this weird connection. So that's why it's more than a show. Do you know what I mean? It's more about a connection with generations. And I thought Barry Bonds was a nice little kind of slapstick 1960s golden age comedy aspect that was brought back. I think or could be brought back into a show that has so much heritage, and I really enjoyed it. It's really cool.
Even his name was just a joke. Yeah. It was the first thing. As soon as we sort of said it, I was like, Barry Bonds.
It's just like a snowball.
Yeah.
Everything just happened. And then we were literally, I remember looking at Josh on the day we were spraying up marker. And I just remember thinking, how did this happen? How did we actually go from that small, stupid idea to actually bronzing up someone and taking him to Coronation Street?
Stood in front of the Rovers. It's just
Marco
was unreal.
An absolute trooper. It was so funny. It was so great.
It really was.
It was so funny, and thank you, Marco, for being part of it.
Appreciate Marco.
It was a gradual thing. It was gradual, actually letting him know that he was gonna get paid.
It was building that trust with him.
It was.
When did you tell him then, when he was going to get paid?
You told him 10 minutes.
He thought it was going to be about 10 minutes.
Did say 10 minutes?
Yeah,
10 minutes.
And we went with Beth, who was the makeup artist, and he said, we're going to need between 1 and 2 hours. And I remember saying, right, Josh, you had prep Marco for this. So Josh wasn't in on one of the rehearsal days, and I literally went, oh yeah, so it's going to probably take about 2 hours for you to get sprayed up. And Marco just looked at me with the fear in his eyes and he said, Josh told me it was like 10, 15 minutes. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. That's how you got to, that's how you got to, should we say massage the actor into these ideas. But thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
You did great, buddy.
What a trooper.
You did
That's
great.
how that's how good Josh's word is, everyone.
Don't trust
If
Josh.
Josh tells you 10 minutes, it really means a couple of hours.
That's it.
So, obviously we've all done like different roles within the production. What were we all looking to bring, essentially? What was the sort of like unique individual stance we all wanted to bring to this project, essentially?
Fun. Wanted to have fun. And we did. We had a great time. I think for our other 2 ideas, it was so serious and so...
Oh, yeah.
But when this came along, I'd never been so excited about anything before. I think we just wanted to, yes, take it seriously because it's, also an assessment thing.
We put so much time into it.
Yeah,
but, we were
but
just
literally we
having fun doing
lived
it. Like, it
the
was-
life of Barry Bonds for the past, for a few months we were literally just constantly, for everything surrounded Barry Bonds, and it was the most surreal thing. But I think it was just to not take it too seriously, just have fun with it, and I think it was probably the best
like
outcome.
A job. It was just every single day,
Yeah.
every weekend.
Right,
Every evening.
it was like
Every evening.
every evening I'd be staying up late just in case we got like one of you like messes the group of like an emergency, especially like
Yeah.
towards filming where I'd have to like,
Yeah.
like I just felt like I couldn't go to bed until like, I didn't
Making up like, are you all tucked up in bed? Is everyone okay?
I didn't want to wake up a morning and then find out. I was like, it was just like I was just always thinking about it. But I guess like what I wanted to bring, like going into it was, I'd obviously, well not obviously, but I'd never watched Coronation Street. My family have never really been a soap family. Like, I think my mum used to watch EastEnders when I was a kid, and that's about it. So I wanted to sort of bring like a fresh kind of, just a fresh perspective, I guess, into it. Especially like if I'm new to the area as well. It's just in general. It's just, and then it did work out having a living statue and a thing, but that wasn't something where I wasn't sort of swayed by any prior knowledge of what Corrie was, because I didn't know what Corrie was at all. And
I think that was
found
an
out
asset
afterwards.
though. I think that was an asset for you to have a fresh.
Just like, I wasn't sort of trying to like recreate like what Corrie used to be, or even what like recreate what it had been. It was only like, I think we started watching a few Corrie episodes for one of our modules in February, and then I watched every episode from February through to like the end of April, just so I could get like the way it's written down. But yeah, just a fresh perspective.
It's really good as well. I think when you read Isaac's script, I feel like it's so well researched. Like you wouldn't know, you never saw Coronation Street. Weirdly, it's got such a fine level of detail.
I mean, while I was writing it, I was obviously watching it like just sort of every day, pretty much. So I feel like it sort of grew into being more of a Corrie script. Like by the end,
I think it comes through though, because being biased watching it, but it does feel like just the way how I think the ease of also how the actors grabbed onto the script, because I think it's an asset when we watch actors and they struggle a bit with the script. But watching them, I thought they grabbed your writing, and with Charlotte's direction, they fell into it. I thought quite quickly.
yeah, the actors were really good as well.
Yeah.
Like just like in the
writing,
fact we had so many rehearsals, especially early on as well, meant that once we started rehearsing, most of the changes in the script were just the actors just saying lines different ways, where I was like, oh, that sounds better than the way I'd written it. And then just amending it officially on the thing, just so they don't learn what I'd initially written. But they were like half learning the script and then just bouncing off each other like early on, especially Charlie and Marco playing Simon and Barry. I forgot.
That was it was exciting when we watched that happen. It was like, oh, something's happening here.
Especially like Charlie didn't like. Yeah. Charlie was like originally going to be playing like 4 different characters. It went from just being like a generic boy to Mason to Barry's younger brother to Simon, and then it was actually like on the day when he came in for his first rehearsal, we were just like, oh yeah, you're Simon Barlow now.
We just went with it though.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
so lucky to have the actors that we did, and like
Very,
obviously,
very good.
luckily enough, Josh knew Marco and Charlie and Beth, but you know we got Rob and Jane, who just everyone like
they were
turned
great
up to the rehearsals. Everyone put just as much of as much time in it as we did, and they were doing it all for nothing. And I think we really looked out with them all, and it was a pleasure to get to know them as well at the same time. And we had to build up that relationship, like, because we all wanted that trust in each other. We were going on the actual set. We needed to know that people were going to show up on time, prepared, know what they need to do, and every single one of them did. And it was really, really.
Yeah, it was like a perfect.
It was perfect.
Like
It was
synchronicity.
Yeah.
Once we found the right people,
Yeah.
it just kind of carried itself.
It
and
just
all-
fell into one.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
honestly, it was
Everyone got on as well. Just like
Everyone got
really
on.
Like, just immediately, like they were just hit it off.
apart from
straight
me and
away.
Josh, we had a
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
a
they
few
had
fist fights.
fist
didn't we?
Had a few fist fights.
you know that happens.
There's a reason I'm sat in the middle.
That's it. Hold me back, Isaac. She's got me by the.
Yeah.
Not the face, Charlotte. Please, not his face.
Yeah. No one was harmed in the making of Barry Bonds,
Yeah.
so that's a little disclaimer for you all.
You're lucky you've got this on camera.
That's
otherwise-
it.
I know,
Yeah,
I've
that
got-
was-
Yeah, if that camera wasn't there.
Yeah,
oh God.
it's like all the truth's finally coming out.
Yeah.
It's like a big revelation. It's really true though. Like I think with terms of performances, I really think we nailed the casting. Like it's hard to think of who else could have done it better. I think it particularly because we met Marco and Charlie to begin with, then we got sort of Jane and Robert in later, and it was just like they were perfect.
Oh yeah.
It was just mental, and the rehearsals really did help. I think what was so good about the actual Corrie shooting days, everyone knew why they were there and kept a very level head. It wasn't just it wasn't like fandom or anything kicking
No,
in.
that's
I
it.
think that's where all the rehearsals came in.
The rehearsals.
As soon as we went on the street, we all knew what we were doing.
I lost track of how many risk
There was
assessments
a
I
lot
did.
of people that took the job seriously and not themselves seriously. It was just like that's like the perfect kind of.
But they still
area
seem to
and
enjoy
place
it.
to- yeah.
Like really.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
they were
they-
having a look,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
like Jane and Rob were having a look around like while they were off camera, but
Yeah.
which is obviously great
Yeah,
because you know the street is obviously a big thing for a lot of people.
Should we talk about that set day we had, like the first ever visit to Corrie? Because
Oh yeah.
that's just like a very surreal realization that
was,
we
yeah.
did that.
Yeah,
it was
How was
very
it seeing
surreal.
it?
Oh my God.
The visit day.
Yeah, the
when
visit
when it
day.
was just us five.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah, it was very odd. It was very strange, especially like it was like I am in a TV now. How do I get out of this TV?
You just climb out. That's it.
I
Well,
think
it-
me and Charlotte, like you were like watching an episode like upstairs just before we came in. Do you remember?
Yes, I
And
did.
I was like sat next to you watching it,
That's
and so we
wild.
went from like seeing these characters on Charlotte's laptop, and then as we were walking in, we would see like I think we saw 2 or 3 of the
So
actors just coming
yeah,
out.
they just came down the
And
stairs.
it's just
No.
weird realizing like, oh, these are real people that are like just working. Like
This is just their job.
it's just nice, sort of. It just makes you appreciate it a bit more because they have to like, especially for soaps, like they have to just constantly be that
So-
character almost.
They dedicate their lives to it's a type of acting as well. It's like a different type of craft when they're acting like that. And it's like it's a life thing. They put their life in it, and I think it's such a inspirational and kind of like fascinating way to live as well as way as to work as well. I think it's kind of like wow.
And that's kind of what the visit sort of made you realise. Like it just sort of it just made everything feel real, I guess.
I'm kind of glad we actually went on that visit before we did, because I think that was our time to be really excited and be like, oh my God, and take it all in. And then when we actually went to shoot, we just had to ignore all that. We just had to, because we had 2 hours
Yeah.
to get everything set up, you know, make a good impression on them, show that we're organised and that we knew what we were doing, and we needed to, you know, get everything out of the way. But that was going to visit prior was like, you know, time to get all of our excitement out of the way, and then we can go and do it properly. But it was so surreal.
It is a great set as well.
It
The
is
level of
good.
It
detail.
looks real, man. It looks
Amazing.
just
I mean,
like
it
a
is,
street
for the most part, it is just
in
real.
Manchester
Like,
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
It's just the level of detail is like even in like the road, like all the little imperfections they have.
yeah.
It's just it just isn't a set. It's like it's just an actual room. They could probably just have people. The people that work there should probably just live there.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know why they haven't thought about that.
Yeah,
I mean, the houses aren't like actual houses. obviously.
Cosy lives, mate. Cosy lives.
Cosy
Get a few
lives,
people
that's
in there. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very. Yeah, it's very hard to believe we've sort of done that. It feels like a lifetime ago we actually did that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Do you know when we actually went to the set? Because it feels like months.
Was it March or April?
What, the first time?
It was March.
That's scary.
I feel like it was like the 9th or something.
It was quite soon into, the 10th.
Maybe like the 7th or something like that.
Yeah, it's just mad to see it for free as well. Like
Yeah,
that
it
felt
was,
like a
it was
luxury.
to
I
see
know,
the,
it was the end of
the
Feb.
offices were.
End of Feb.
End of Feb.
26th
End of
of
Feb, wow,
February
so-
we went on the tour.
Oh, wow.
That is mental.
I know, that's crazy.
And then just
That's
to see
literally
how they work
this
in the
today,
offices was
like
incredible.
26th.
Oh God,
Exactly,
yeah.
4
Was
months
it?
today.
No way.
That's mad. That is it. Wow.
Well, it depends when I release the app.
As of recording.
As of recording.
4 months exactly.
Oh yeah, cheers to that. It's gonna means that my editing job's now got to be even
No, yeah, it's live. By the way,
Yeah,
everybody, this is
that's
live.
it.
This is.
Yeah,
This is definitely not.
yeah.
That is
I could try live out for the big finale, to be fair.
That'd be
But
cool.
now I think we'll talk. Should we talk about sort of the cafe, the situation that we
Oh, God,
found
yeah.
ourselves into? Because as from my producer's perspective, I think negotiation on that was very hard because they always wanted revenue. So we decided, from David's advice, to convert a room into a cafe. Was it 302? Was it?
It
Room.
Was it?
It was 3 something.
Free something.
Was it 306?
It was,
308? Was it
classroom.
308?
It could be 308.
I think it was 308.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like I think because we were, as you say, we were struggling to find an actual cafe because we couldn't like hire a cafe for an afternoon, and that would limit time as well.
It was like an hour. The most you could really get was
Yeah.
like an hour in any sort of place. But it's
So
the same with like any like cafe and pub kind of thing. But
So we had like the challenge of
persuading
making a university.
Josh to use it.
Persuading Josh to actually back down because he was
Yeah.
desperate for a real
I was
cafe.
like, guys, we need a real cafe.
He was not gonna let it
So this
go.
is not gonna work. And then,
Yeah.
but when Charlotte and I was at Charlotte's like, this is, I was being like, and then when they showed me the room and basically I trusted them. I was like, actually no, this can work.
Yeah, the
and,
walls and stuff.
Yeah, it was just like it came down to like little details. As long as we set up the shot in a particular way, less is more in the way we present how we present the cafe. If we just devil in the detail and try and play around with those tiny aspects, then we can sell it.
It gave us so much
and,
control
yeah.
over it as well, didn't it?
Definitely. I think one thing I found was when organising the shoots was I actually think that was probably the best idea to shoot in the cafe, in the classroom for the cafe, because in that particular scene that we shot, it was a lot more detail when it came to more kind of intimate performances.
Yeah.
And I think it allowed, because I think it was there was one scene I think was one of the scenes that we didn't quite get until the actors got in there, and then as together they kind of obviously they workshopped it before, but they continued to workshop it as we recorded it, and it was a very kind of it was a really lovely experience just to have that space for like 6-7 hours and just let these actors play.
We didn't rehearse that scene as much as the other scenes.
No, nowhere near as
that
much.
was the big thing about having that room. It was like we could literally have it all day.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to rehearse it. They would slowly be able to find it sort of over the day, and which gave us more time to rehearse for the scenes in the snooker hall and on the street. But the room itself was.
The room itself.
Just carry on.
We were saying that the room itself wasn't. What would you say? Basically a blank canvas, right? And then we kind of implemented detail on there, and obviously there's little things I know. I wish I kind of maybe added a bit more kind of pictures on the wall, that kind of thing. But I think we sold it. I think
Honestly.
we sold it.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is when we were showing people our rough cuts and stuff.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
We had a couple of people.
Say, did you
someone
shoot
was like,
it in Roy's
did
Rolls?
they let you shoot it in Roy's Rolls?
Yeah.
Is it proper cafe?
And we were like, yes.
We should have just been like, yeah, it's a proper cafe, but they're just like, no, it's actually just up there.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, we managed to dress up the walls slightly.
Yeah.
I think Josh took about 50 trips to several different charity shops to buy loads of random bits.
I need more stuff.
Honestly, and just make it
used to find a
add
radio.
more things to it. I think there was like loads of little quirks to it that Roy's Rolls has anyway, and just putting all the pieces together, and then I just think everything came into place afterwards. You were looking at the screen and you were thinking, God, yeah, you can't even tell. I mean, aside from the view outside the window, which was hard to get, which was noticeable that it wasn't on the street, Coronation Street, because we were very high up. But apart from that, it was perfect. It worked out really well.
When we were actually filming, like obviously it felt like we're on a set, but then as soon as you all you had to do was just look into the viewfinder of the camera, and you'd suddenly be in a cafe.
Joined together, it was like glue. It was really, really odd. You could see the illusion, and then you could see the illusion pay off. It was really odd. It's like that was probably one of the most fascinating days, I think, for me personally. Obviously, being on the street, filming on the street, wow, amazing. But just the process of making even if it was just for a cafe, you could say it was a small thing, but for me personally, I think for all of us, it was a big thing because we created an illusion that people believed in, and it wasn't just the illusion of filmmaking; it was the illusion of set building, and
which none of
it
us
was
had
really
done.
and no one had done it before me. So I was like, wow! I was like, this is so cool.
Well, I also want to give you credit there, Josh, because it wasn't just about how we built the set, but it was about how you filmed it, and like everything, in every way, in every angle, and everything that you did, it just you created that illusion, and you helped it all. You pieced it all together, and you honestly made me believe that it could actually, this could actually work. Because even I was a bit up and down. Oh, using our university room, it's all like
just white
blindingly white and just horrible, and like, but with lighting, with everything, you just put it all together, and you had a plan. And we basically lived in that room for the end of that week. We literally were there every single day,
3 days in that.
spending 6 to 7 hours a day just in that room, just trying out
taping
everything.
up like this chair needs to go here, this table
taping
needs
them
to be
to
here, this wall
chairs
needs to be
and
here.
like that, everything.
Crikey,
Like,
blocking it all out. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
God,
It was
It's like it was
our-
experimentation again. It was great. It was like we were just like being little scientists in a lab,
was-
figuring
Yeah,
out
that's it.
how are we going to sell this, guys?
Especially
How are we
when
going to
we
do
were
this?
filming it, it was like, I think it was good that it was fairly relaxed because it was our first day filming, and we had like 3 of our 4 actors on set for at least parts of it. So I think it was just good just to film with them in like and obviously building a set was something that we got 3 different kinds of. We got to film on the street, we got to film on location in the snooker hall, and then we got to build a set. And I think it was just useful to do all 3. So I was always very, not adamant, but pretty pro filming in a classroom, building a set. So I just thought it'd be a lot of fun.
Isaac believed.
Isaac.
Believe.
It was never in doubt.
Thank God he did.
Yeah, I think it's really good the way I think filming works out, because we sort of started with the longest day, then we went to Corrie. I mean, I couldn't imagine flipping the order round.
Day that the way that aligned was just like, I think if it was any other way around, it just seemed to flow perfectly.
It was perfect. Like
We
It
filmed
was
it in like reverse chronological order as
Yeah.
well. It just happened
Yeah.
to be like. It just happened to be
It
in
made
like,
the
perfect.
best sense to do it that
It went
way as
longest
well.
day,
Yeah.
second longest day, third longest day, and then shortest day. It's just worked out.
yeah.
Great.
Imagine starting with Corrie first, thinking about it. That would have just been crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I would. Yeah. That
Yeah,
would've
I
been
was
intense.
I was always like, Corrie has to be the last
Yeah,
day.
it had to be
Like,
last.
Yeah.
we can't finish with Corrie and then suddenly be like, oh, we've still got a Monday, another snooker hall, or whatever. I was just like,
Felt by the last day we were like just a very well oiled, kind of composed. I think it was like all the little, because nothing really went wrong. I don't think. Just all little like
I don't think,
trials and error, but little tiny things. Like I think in the pool hall, originally arranged like 4 hours, but then in the end, music had to come on within 2 hours, so we
Yes.
were pushed on that. And I think it was just great how each day we were forced to adapt and kind of overcome these tiny things that obviously, we kind of, I think we were very composed really with certain aspects. And then by the end, the last shoot, we were just, swink.
Yeah, literally for like the
through
entire.
and do it, yeah.
I mean, I don't think for like the entire production, there was never like a massively. Like there was never a disaster, especially like during filming. I don't think any of the filming days there was a moment where we were like, the music having to come on, we were already kind of done. Like we sort of knew. It wasn't like
Yeah, I think it was the idea that because we developed it, we actually I think what paid it off was just the development of it. Just get in the room and have the performances down, and then just be adaptable when
we were just organised really well, and you know, but it wasn't like a proper strict like organisation. Like Charlotte was fairly relaxed with everything, and it just let us all just sort of naturally do what we needed to do, and it worked out fine. It wasn't like you've got to do this by tomorrow, and then we do a shoddy job. And
that was an asset to Charlotte though, because Charlotte was
asset.
like, as a director, she was very, very good at kind of just harbouring everyone's strengths and really kind of created a relaxed environment, which I think is a necessity when you're being creative. As soon as you get uptight or there's any tension in a group, I think it starts to dismantle, and there was none of that throughout the entire process. And I think Charlotte should have obviously definitely most of the credit when it comes to kind of harbouring creativity and her own creativity and implementing final decisions and
pretty much all of the credit.
Yeah, all the
credit.
credit.
I'll take that.
It was literally
All
just
the
like
credit, yeah.
it was literally just like we
It
were
was
just
like-
a group of mates just making
Yeah.
filming on the Corrie set.
But even though it was a calm, relaxed environment, it wasn't out of control. It was this professionalism that she brought in. It was very, very, very good, and I was
Damn, I'm
a
gonna
pleasure.
cry.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely, it was awesome.
No,
Made
that-
it very, very cool to me. It was really
I
awesome.
mean, I'm assuming you knew that like we would all, none of us would like shirk off our
No,
work.
no,
We knew we would all
I had
just-
absolutely trust. I had absolute trust in everyone, and I think, there were even times where Josh was doing a shot, and I was like, I do not know where he's going with this, but I'm gonna let it plan. I'm gonna let it pan out.
Fingers
And
crossed,
Isaac's
like-
over my shoulder, like, we shouldn't be doing this. We need to be doing. And I'm like, let him do it, right? Let him take the shot, because if we don't use it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But he's got to do it because he's in his zone.
Take the shot.
And that was it. Everyone was just, everyone was brilliant. It was absolutely. I don't feel like any need to have to control anything because everyone just knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Matt came in. He'd already done everything. He'd done all the paperwork. He knew what he was. And Ben, he was incredible, technically as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, just he was just on it. I mean, obviously he has lots of experience as well, but
He was great. He was like,
absolute trust in
yeah.
everyone. Isaac was all right. I don't know, could have done better. No, Isaac was constantly changing the script. Constantly,
Yeah,
he was putting everything down. And then Josh was just he was in some sort of flow. When you're in the zone, you know you're in the zone. If you touch him, it's honestly.
We only
like,
had to pull you out of it like once, which was on the street scene.
On the street
when it was
scene,
like
yeah.
we needed. To
That's.
I was
it.
like, go. I was like, Josh, chill out. It's like, let's do this. Let's rock. Let's rock.
It was just towards the end. It was just like
Yeah.
you're like, I'd like this shot, and I was like, we still need some shots. Like,
I would
sure,
like
that
this
was,
one.
yeah, please.
But it
That
was
was
like
the
a
end
group
of
of
the
mates.
please,
Just
bro.
But yeah, it wasn't
filming all
like
over stuff.
there wasn't any tension. You immediately were just like, oh yeah, true.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true that.
That's
Whereas
it,
if,
I understand
whereas
that.
if you had like stood your ground, I would have just been like, all right.
Okay.
I was just making a suggestion.
I think that's another thing is we managed to kind of like, I think it was very. I think we're lucky in that sense that we were put in a group, and we've been in a group where we're very kind of we know what is required, and we know when someone may have a point about something, so we have boundaries that I assume flow well with each other when we're creatively, and I think it felt like a dance throughout the whole, like a creative dance that we were and a baton was being passed on through each element. And the reason why I think there were no any sort of strong kind of emotions when it came to decision making or is because I think our egos were left to one place, and we all knew that the priority and the main goal was to get the job done, to make the best product possible, and that made it even more freeing because we just let go of our own kind of wants and needs, and we all wanted the same thing, and I think that's what brought us all together and made the process even more pleasurable because of that. And
It couldn't happen. It couldn't have happened without everyone being just as motivated as each other. Everyone had shared the same passion for this project. No one slacked off. No one took a day off. Honestly, and And even if we did, or even if someone couldn't make something, it was fine. Like, it never affected how we worked together. Like,
There was always at least like 2 of us who could make something.
there's always
And there
something,
was-
yeah.
It was never that we were all.
And
I
it
mean,
wouldn't have worked
you were
without
like you were working doing this and also doing your work experience.
Oh God, yeah, that was
Oh my God, yeah.
that was a rough time.
And you were still showing up for like rehearsals and everything. You just never rested.
Well,
Different gravy, mate. That different stuff. That is. Different
I'm a
gravy.
grafter, what can I say?
Shit,
No, we all did. It was
Grafter.
absolutely, it was fun. It was great.
It was. I was going to sing more praises out to people. I mean, Joshua's shot planning was meticulous on the day. I've never had to use the printer so much. I was just- all of Isaac's scripts coming out. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
I was on designated printer duty.
Yeah.
And I held the light at Swinton, the reflector.
Oh, mate. Thank goodness for that. I needed that. I needed to block that light out. I was
Yeah.
like, this dumb. It's just I'll stick this out.
And it's actually said, like, we wanted to create a fun atmosphere, and I think, Charlotte, with your direction, I think there was so much, like, flexibility that was sort of there with working with the actors. There was no sort of strictness. Like, you must stick to the script, otherwise you're fired. Because some directors are like that.
You.
Yeah.
So it was really impeccable. Like, but the professionalism, I think, off everyone who helped us as well was superb. Like Camilla and
Shout out
Craig.
Camilla,
Oh,
Craig.
yeah, Craig. Yeah, definitely.
Adam on sound. He saved us.
I feel like Adam is like a staple now of his boombox.
He is. He absolutely is.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about, explain a little gag. The "she must have been some woman" gag.
Yes. It's beautiful acting, Matt. I'd say
Never
you're
let it
oh.
down. Yeah, I think we were doing. That was one of our one of our run throughs in 302 or 308, whatever.
Testing the
We were
lights,
testing the light or camera, whatever we were doing.
Yeah.
And then we asked Matt to sit in and read
Read,
the Barry
Barry's
Bronze.
lines.
And the line he delivered was
It was supposed to be like,
so.
she must have been some woman.
that
Like,
pause,
it was supposed to be like,
pause and hesitation is key to that
it's
line.
like, it's like the emphasis is on the some, like, is it? Like, it was supposed to be awkward. But the way you read it was just like, she must have been some woman. Like,
She must have been some woman.
just some.
As if it's
Just
like it was top notch, Matt. It really was.
Which she was some woman, but
I
She
fought
was
for
was
that
someone.
delivery to be in the final project.
Yeah.
he was
Wow.
fighting for Matt to play Barry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
After that,
No.
Bronze stuff.
Mate, you gotta
It
get
was
in.
almost like I couldn't have delivered the line in a more, like, I couldn't give an absolute crap about Isaac's script at all.
So true.
I mean, literally, I'll do it to camera actually. I was literally like this. I was like, she must have been some woman. I had no passion on my face at all.
He's like, get this over with.
I mean, hopefully I didn't
Yeah.
remain that sour throughout the whole shoot.
Oh no. I liked your confidence in that line. I liked it.
I don't think we asked you to read any more lines.
Matt did actually have a cameo though. He did. He was reading
It got
the
cut out though.
Yeah.
Oh no, it did in
Yeah.
the final.
Yeah.
Unless maybe like your shoulders.
So
to,
can we
like,
just get that cafe?
So we need the establishing
40 seconds.
Just get this 40-second establishing shot.
40-second establishing
And
shot.
when Charlotte asked you how long is that establishing shot, you're like about 10 seconds.
And then you went back and actually
I went.
checked.
There's no way that was 10 seconds. I went and got the thing, and it was a 40-second.
I was like, maybe give Josh the benefit of the doubt. Maybe put this shot in.
Yeah,
40
yeah.
seconds as we were trying to put down.
Yeah, we were still cutting down. We still need another like 2 minutes cut off. And
I was like, no, this can't be done.
Each time they cut something else off, I was like, okay, so we can
Yeah,
put the cafe scene back in.
all of Josh's nice shots had to get removed.
Yeah.
No, it was,
And a few of my favourite lines as well.
oh yeah.
That's it. We all had to make
Yeah,
sacrifices.
sacrifices. That was it.
Yeah.
It's good though. It was worth
Yeah.
it.
You need to find that audio file, and I need to do like an insert in this part of
Yes.
that.
I'm having that as my notification
sure we'll have
thing
that
on my
somewhere.
phone. That's it.
I'll have it on my Tigers.
Oh my god. the editing.
Immortalised forever on Tigers.
Yeah.
How do you cope with Tiger Spaces? Because it just
Oh.
seems like the messiest system in the world.
It really is.
Yeah,
It's a bit everywhere.
It's not great. Yeah.
It's just Charlotte's tiger.
It's
doesn't
just
work.
mine, I think, because gave my password out to literally everyone.
That's off the record.
They locked me out of the system.
Yes,
and
that's correct. They locked you out of the system.
No, they did because I.
Oh, yeah.
Because they thought, hang on a minute, there's too many logins on different locations at the same time right now. What's going on? Someone's hacking in. Obviously, then I get locked out, and that's when. So now I'm gonna have to change my password because these guys know.
I don't.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised you don't. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure
Everywhere.
I'm sure Charlotte will
Posted on
tell you at
Facebook
some
somewhere.
point.
There was a plane flying
yeah.
over Media City with Charlotte's.
With
with Charlotte's passcode on it.
And then another one. Can someone log into my Tiger?
Yeah.
Get this footage for me.
Yeah, I think shout out to Charlotte for creating the portfolio on Canva.
Oh my God,
525
I did
pages.
that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I decided to
And
do that.
Isaac was. I've ever seen the two of you on the last day, and I was like, "Can I do anything to help?" And
Yeah.
it was like, "I just leave us to
It took us a while to create that content page. Yeah. It did take us a long time, but to be honest, it was worth it. I mean, that
It
that
did
was
look nice.
that was a really nice portfolio. It was basically a photo album of all of our.
It was nice looking through.
I'm
it.
so glad
It
we
is
took so
nice,
many
yeah.
photos though.
Especially when we were doing like the contents page. It's like, oh yeah, I remember doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I remember being there.
That's it. It's like reminiscing.
it was
Honestly,
like
it
a-
is like.
It's like a family album. Never
I'm
mind the
gonna print
portfolio.
it out. Yeah. I'm gonna ask Matt to print it out.
Yeah.
3 copies, Matt.
This is when we first met.
Jesus Christ.
Frame it above your toilet, so every time someone comes in, they
Well,
can like, read through it.
Yes. have a
It
little
could be
read.
reading materials well for the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
I don't know well.
A good cafe book, coffee
That's
table
it.
book. That's it.
We definitely need to talk about the picture album because we need to talk about the true Skyline.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
You know
That
what's
was-
coming.
mate. That was super, man. Thank you for having us
That
there,
was
man.
so
That was, like,
great. That's such a great
we
space.
needed that.
Last time I
space,
used
dude.
it, would you
That was
believe?
Yeah.
That was top stuff, man.
I
Yeah, we
mean,
needed that
I'm
space.
sure they wouldn't have liked the idea. It was spray painting someone bronze up
baby.
there, but
They must have been a bit confused when
yeah.
Bronze Man walked out.
What?
Oh,
It was like Josh was like Marco's escort.
Yeah.
Man.
it's like step back,
That's it.
step back, guys. Oh, we got a bronze man here.
Got Bronze escorting Bronze.
He's been contaminated by
Yeah.
bronze.
Got a guy who fell into a bronze paint.
Because one of my favourite pictures, and I'm gonna shame you here, Josh.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh my god. This one.
that we
this one.
stuck it on one page by itself.
We shouldn't have left that. I realised, but I mean, maybe it contributed to the mark.
I think it did. That's it's sold.
It's like-
It was like a little reward for Simon and David. They scroll through 500 pages
They
and then
just
they
see Josh just
Josh just like
eyeballs going. in
nothing
the
behind the eyes.
one eyeball's like facing east, the other's west.
They were going two opposite ways.
opposite ways.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like every time you kept adding the picture in, I just couldn't stop
Mm.
laughing because it was like this is the ultimate.
Because
form.
everyone was looking really professional, and it was like, we've got Goofball Josh.
Yeah.
It's
It's like-
It's like the morning
I
of
loved it.
morning of the street scene as well. It was like it was a visual representation
Mm.
where your head was.
Oh, yeah,
It was a piece of art.
Oh, yeah, that
It
was
was
it.
beautiful.
It's like a flick book. You'd flick through it.
That's it.
I don't think I'd even got dressed before you came as well, so I let you in. I had to grab back.
Ooh. Well, aren't I lucky?
Yeah.
No,
that's-
Here's to that.
okay. Cheers to that, man.
Cheers
That's
That was good.
yeah.
And I saved money on rent because it's so expensive at trip.
I know, I can imagine.
Oh yeah.
Really nice though. Really nice place.
Yeah.
Off that tangent, I'll say probably the last thing I wanted to talk about. What would you say would be like the biggest lesson learned from this that you sort of like looking in 5 years' time you pass on to future generations who are making Corrie?
Oh god.
That's a good question, Matt. Bloody
I'll let you guys go with that one. I don't
hell.
know.
I think in terms of like writing for anyone that was doing like this module, especially, but like just in writing terms in general, just like being completely open about changing your work and not having any kind of vanity about, being like, no, I've written this script and it's great and I'm gonna do it and this is just what we're doing. Because like if we had just stuck with what like I had initially written, it would have been 2 scenes and it would have been, there was no depth to it. There was no, I think it was like Barry being robbed by the boy and then like getting pushed over or something. And then the other scene was just him talking to Gail for about 5 minutes. And like constantly throughout the entire time, I was just adamant that Barry was like a villain, just like, well, I haven't actually said it on the podcast, but just like it was supposed to be his dad was Lewis Archer, who's like another antagonist from a few years ago. But it took David, our supervisor, like months to persuade me to make him not be a villain. And then as soon as I did that, I was suddenly so much more interested in Barry. And I was just like, why didn't I do that? If I'd done that months ago, it could have been so much better. But I'm still happy with how it turned out. But I just, like, changing your work for like when especially when someone like David, who's like, he's been series producer of Coronation Street, but just anyone who's like, not even necessarily more experienced than you, just anyone who has an opinion on your work is right in a way, because other people are going to think that as well. Even if you disagree with them, it doesn't mean they're wrong. And it's good to try. You can always just try what they've suggested, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But most of the time, it will open you up to like so many more opportunities than just closing up. And especially in terms of the industry, like you're going to have to write for other people all the time. So it's good to get practice. And with this, I was just trying to find a way to keep it like Barry, and keep the work like my work while I was writing, whilst also doing what David was telling me to do for months. It took me ages to do it. So that my advice would just be to listen to other people and just find ways of keeping it your own whilst also taking in their advice. Have I given you enough time to think of something?
No, I think it's right. I think what you said there is, you're right, because Dave gave you advice on the character.
Yeah, similar with you for DOP.
You implemented you always kept your stamp on it. I think that's everything. It's like inevitable. You're always going to have, even if you're writing for someone else or if you're doing it for a project. There's always going to be your heart. There's always going to be a little bit of you inside what you watch or see or listen or whatever. And then I guess when it comes to how the way it looks and stuff like that. And I think for me, I think whatever position you do with any project, if you're an editor or whatever, I'd say always be in there throughout the entire process. Don't try and just be part of it. Especially if you're a DOP, the best thing I got essences of people, the kind of vibes and how they wanted it to look, and I think the collaboration there really helped me understand what we all wanted. And I think that's very important as a DOP, because DOP is communicating, behind the camera, you're communicating in a different way, in a way that hopefully isn't noticed by the audience. So you kind of don't want certain things to be noticed too much. Sometimes you do, and then my kind of process is, I won't take too much time, but my process on it when I was shooting it was, yes, there were scenes like the cafe scene and scenes that were too big, and looking back I learned a lot actually, that all these kind of like big kind of shots are like, yeah, they look cool and nice, but they didn't serve the piece, like they just don't serve it.
That was sort of joint.
It was,
yeah. Writing. I'd written these like scenes setting up the scene. When soaps and Corrie don't set up scenes, so you like wasted so much time doing these like establishing shots. I mean, like I
really enjoyed making it. I think.
Yeah, it was a good experience, but it would have been good to have something like that in during like the bulk of the actual scene.
That's what it would have been.
And I should have cut those out before we started.
Yeah. But those shots should have been within the actual writing and the text of the piece. But what you should also keep in mind if you're shooting anything is, like, Coronation Street, you could say is like quite simply shot. Like, it's just shot, reverse shot, some wides. The process is quite quick. But I think you need to remember that there's a lot of complexity in the simplicity and the process of how they shoot. And it's something that if you ever do get the opportunity to do this part of the course, that you really embrace the watch a lot of. I watched film, watched old movies. I watched. My main inspiration was Colour of Money and The Hustler, and I looked at those, and there were two different types of shooting. So have a look at that, and then try and implement it into something. And yes, even if it is Corrie and there is a look of Corrie, you'll always have a certain influence of yourself in it. So don't think, I'm a DOP, I've got Corrie, not a lot to do. Actually, there's loads to do. You know, I'm very, very grateful that I was given the opportunity to do it, and I've learned so much, because I think people overlook the complexity in the way that a simple, you know, open brackets, closed brackets, shot, reverse shot, actually is. There's lots of dynamics and proxemics in the shot and the way things are framed that really, hopefully, aren't noticed but are felt when you watch something. Anyway, I'll pass it on to Charlotte now.
Like, take it seriously. Obviously, it's you know, it's ITV Studios. It's a big opportunity. I think when we got it, I was a bit like, you know, on the actual day when we were there, listening to all the briefs and all the people, and I saw, you know, there's Waterloo Road. There was a music video for an actual artist. There was, you know, all these great like clients to work for, and then
So
Corrie
good to
came
see,
up,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, Coronation Street. We get to go on Coronation Street and film. And I think to me that it was a big opportunity. So take it seriously, but also, like, for example, I feel like we all had our own roles, but we all did, I think we sort of shared the responsibility across the group.
It's collaboration.
It was a lot of collaboration. Yeah, I'd say the, you know, most important thing is make sure you're working on it with people that you trust, or you at least build that trust with. You all share the same motivation. You all listen to each other. You know, because it became our life for a good period of time, and I think everyone was just so excited about it. I think just, you know, have fun with it, but yeah, take it seriously. It's a big opportunity. You know, do your research. I'd say, you know, we watched Coronation Street a lot, and from not watching Coronation Street, or barely watching Coronation Street, Josh, I know you used to, but you weren't recently into it.
Yeah. I used to watch it with my family a lot, and
Yeah.
it's one of those communal things again, isn't it? When you watch it with the family.
That's it.
It was great. It was like a re-entry back into that world, which I really loved. It was fantastic.
I think what helped me was sort of learning as much about it as possible, talking about it constantly, telling other people about it. That's what, you know.
I think what you did as well, Charlotte, is you let again, when it comes to the environment of creativity and collaboration, is you made things open enough for people to step in each other's shoes and like not in them, you know, and, you know, get behind. You can have a moment behind the camera, or you know, I might have an idea and you might have an idea here, and we just kind of, as the baton was crossed over, we still had doors open in our set roles for people just to step in and do things. And I thought that was a necessity, which I think you created that, and I thought I really enjoyed that. So thank you.
Oh, that means a lot to hear, because I think as well, like what you were saying before about not letting your ego take over. I mean, to me, it was like being director. I initially started the project as producer, and then we had Matt join, and I was like, well, Matt's got to be producer.
Matt's got to be the producer, man. You absolutely
We
smashed
need Matt
it,
to
bro.
produce this. And then,
You made it. See, like the
That's it.
foundation. You
You
made
did.
everything just nice.
Absolutely, just
very good.
created it from the bottom. And I think, and then, you know, I looked at these guys, and I was like, well, what am I going to do? And
You
you
did a lot,
forced
dude.
me into the position of director, which I'd never done before.
Even before Matt joined, though, I wanted you to be director. So I just thought you'd be good at it.
I just
And you were
didn't.
good at it.
I didn't see it in me, but I think having confidence in other people, it made me more confident. And I think that's just key. Is just making sure, you know, you be confident in yourself, definitely, but like, just don't let your ego take. Yeah, just don't try and put people in, you know, where they don't want to be put, or just listen to people, and, you know, because you might agree, you might disagree, but it's important to talk it out. And I think that's what we did best, was we communicated a lot.
Just trust each other.
Trusted each other, collaborated, and that ultimately is what made this project successful in my eyes. And I kind of like you guys, only a little bit.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But just have fun with it. It's really good.
That's it. Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. I feel like I really need to give like a established answer now, because I've had the most time to think and I really don't have much to say. I think In terms of the joke answer, I mean, the first one I'm going to say is get your ethics form in immediately. Because get the boring paperwork done, then you can really have fun and just look forward to planning all the stuff in particular. In terms of like from a writing perspective, I'd say like think about what you want to say and how you want to say what's the best medium. I think also, as you said, it's going to be something you're with for a long time, especially with Bronze. I mean, the arc was about for like 8 months, if I'm not mistaken. Was it an 8-month arc? Yeah,
9 months.
9 months,
Yeah.
but exactly. So you've got to create something that excites you, is enthusiastic. It isn't just a way of saying ticking a box to get a mark, because it needs to be something, and just bring a bit of flair. Don't be afraid of adding anything original that we've never seen before. Just look how Bronze started as a joke that's now become a reality. I mean, it's amazing to really think what we've done, and I think just always just right from the heart. That's probably something I've said. We've like pick everything. I pick a card in particular. That was another big one. And good luck to everyone in 5 years.
Oh God, yeah, good luck. God,
You too, mate.
5 years, mate. I'll be.
You'll be in Barbados sipping pina coladas. That's it.
But no, it's been.
Bring around the Aston. That's what you'll say. That's it.
It's been a hell of an experience with Barry Bonds, hasn't it?
Oh, so shout out to Ben as well. He couldn't
Shout out
make
to
it
Ben,
today, but he, you know,
Oh, yeah.
he put just as much of a mark as we did on this. He absolutely smashed it and
Definitely.
edited the thing and had so much patience with us all.
He did.
And,
He did.
you know,
Thank you, Ben, dude.
Assisted with camera, everything. He was perfect.
Yeah.
He really did.
Also, a fellow Brummie.
And
Yeah.
fellow Brummie.
That's it.
The more the merrier.
That's it.
But I'll just quickly say as well, I mean, I think to the three of you, just thank you for taking me in at that time, because my head was not there at all.
Oh,
I
mate,
mean-
it was a pleasure, bro. We wanted you. I'm surprised.
Oh, no, I mean-
surprised no one grabbed you. I was like,
I know.
I went, Mark, what? You still available? Get here! I was like, what?
That's
Going on?
it.
So yeah, I'm glad you were free, dude.
I
Because
don't know what we would have done. To be
I
honest.
don't know either.
Honestly, yeah, you absolutely put the work in, and yeah, so grateful. Well, for all of you, but yeah, Matt, you really did save us on many occasions,
Big time.
especially when getting those locations and.
Yeah, I had my negotiation partner in crime.
That's it, man. We're the partners in crime on that one.
That's it.
But I think we'll call it there. I'll say, Charlotte, Isaac, Josh, thank you very much. This has been genuinely one of my favourite episodes.
Oh, thanks,
Same
Matt.
here.
I say that every episode.
That's
That's
And I will say to everyone, I don't know when I'll be doing it, but I will see everyone in the big finale, episode 20. And all three of you are invited to come back if you want.
Oh yeah, we're back. We're
We'll
back.
be there.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
We'll schedule a date in July, and we'll maybe do it live, possibly.
No
Yeah, that'd be
way.
pretty cool,
That'd be
man.
amazing.
That'd be sick. I'll bring the scotch.
Yeah.
But,
Charlie, you bring the cigars.
Oh, you know it. You
I'll
know
bring
it.
the
I always
squashes.
do.
Yeah, you bring the squashes.
Squashes.
Yeah. Was still recording, so we'll leave that. I will say to everyone, take care, and I will see you all in the finale.